Hi students, good afternoon. Today we are going to finish the lesson Animal Tissues in Structural Organization in Animals. In the revised syllabus of NCERT class 11, in the Structural Organization in Animals, only animal tissues part is present. Rest of part in that particular unit will be deleted according to the COVID-19 situations. So it would be the final class of animal tissues in the structural organization. Today topic is nervous tissue. Let me discuss some basic points of the nervous tissue. You know very well that what we are discussing, all the tissues are existing in only animals. Whether it is epithelial tissue or connective tissue or muscular tissue, these three are present in all the animals. But some exceptions also there. But in case of nervous tissue, it is absent in very initial animals like parazoans. Suppose they are called sponges and there belongs to a phylum called Porifera. They are also called parazoans. After protozoans they are evolved, but protozoans are not considered as animals. The first animal phylum is Porifera, in which many sponges were included. In animal kingdom time we will discuss that. But here the point is, in sponges there is no neuron. There is no neuron means there is no nervous system. Neuronless animals are there in our world. They are sponges or poriferans or parazoans. Except sponges, after the sponges what will be there? Coelenterate will be there. Coelenterata. Coelenterata, another name is Cnidaria. No need to confuse here. In this, hydra, jellyfish and some sea anemone like some corals also included in this animal. Coelenterata 2 till the mammals, higher vertebrates. They are invertebrates. The first phylum where neurons are exist. Neurons are first found in a phylum called Coelenterata. Example hydra. Example hydra. You might have observed this diagram in your previous classes. So nervous system is absent in Porifera, but neurons are found first time in Coelenterata. What type of neurons they are? Little later we will see. Coelenterata to mammals, enter the nervous execution is present. And if you see the nervous system or neural tissue, don't think that nervous tissue is always made up of neurons. 50% of nervous tissue is occupied by neurons and the rest of 50% is occupied by glial cells. So glial cells plus neurons together is called nervous tissue. This is a very noticeable point. And don't think that nervous tissue is 100% is made up of neurons. 50% of neurons and 50% of other cells, they are also called helper cells or neuroglial cells. Neuroglial cells. Their percentage is 50 in the total and rest of 50 are neurons. What is the role of glial cells? Here we will observe. Generally, neurons have three important properties. They are excitement, they always excite, and conduct. Clear means along with the axon, the impulse will be conducted after excitement. So after conduction they have to transmit. So that transmission of nerve impulse. Number one, neuron going to be excite. Number two, excited impulses can be conducted through the axon. Number three, from one neuron to another neuron through the synaptic junctions, the impulses are transmission. These three are the functions of neurons. Except these three, neuron doesn't have any other function. Remember, what are the functions of neuron? Number one is excitement. It has to receive the impulse. It has to generate the impulse by some potentiality. Then the generated impulse has to be conducted along with the neuron by some part is called axon. Once the impulses reach to the terminals, nothing but ends, that has to transfer from one neuron to another neuron. That process is called transmission. It happens at the junction of neurons called synapse, right? If neuron is 24/7 busy with all these property, how neuron can be feed, how neuron can be protected by some infections, and how neuron can be grown? So that nature has created the glial cells to assist every neuron other than these three functions. I repeat, glial cells cannot pop up the neuron in any of the three functions that belongs to neuron. Then what is the duty of glial cells? Glial cells, another name is helper cells. Means what? They help the neuron for feeding, they help the neuron for growing, and they help the neuron by giving protection from the phagocytosis, right? So the functions of glial cells is nourishment, protection, development. So let us see different types of glial cells and different types of neurons existing in animals. As of now, we come to know that nervous tissue consists of neurons as well as neuroglial cells equal percentage. If you see the different types of neurons, when I say neuron, you will have an imagination a multipolar neuron. But in the nervous tissue, other than multipolar neuron, so many different types of neurons are there. Now you are going to be enlightened. So let me give you the well-known neuron that everyone have a good idea, right? So this is cyton, this is axon, these are terminals. This neuron is called multipolar neuron. This type of neurons are exist in central nervous system, means in brain as well as spinal cord. In these two places, multipolar neurons are existing. Other than multipolar neurons, some neurons are also there. They are unipolar neuron. Unipolar neuron. So here, number of poles per neuron is only one. So the process of neuron is only one. That's why it is called unipolar. Uni means what? Single. So number of poles here many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So many projections are there from the neuron cytoplasm. That's why it is called multi. Multi means many. Whereas a neuron has only single projection. This is single projection. That single projection is equal to axon. So any neuron, number of axons are single, right? Whether the many projections are there, one projection only continued as axon. If one projection is there, that would be act as axon. So this type of unipolar neurons are found in embryonic stage. Embryonic stage of vertebrate. Vertebrates means what? Fishes, amphibians, reptiles, aves means birds and mammals. In these animals, this type of neurons were found in their embryonic stage, means early stage of life. Next one is bipolar neuron. Bipolar neuron. So multipolar neuron means many projections. Unipolar neuron means single projection. Bipolar neuron means two projections. So two projections are there here. This is cyton and one will be act as axon, another one will be projection or dendrite. I already told you, number of projections are many or single, no problem, but number of axons per one neuron is single. In multipolar neuron, many projections are there, but one projection can be lead into axon. This is axon here. After some time, we will come to know entire the structure of multipolar neuron. That time you will have a clarity. So at we have discussed three types of neurons. Number one is multipolar neuron. Number two is unipolar neuron. Number three is bipolar neuron. And now we are discussing number 4. The fourth type of neuron is called unpolar neuron. Unpolar neuron. Unpolar neuron is different. Unipolar neuron is different. In unipolar neuron, number of poles or projections are single. Unpolar neuron means number of poles are absent. So it is simply circular. This type of neurons are found in hydra. Example, I already told you. Coelenterata. First time the neurons were found, those neurons are such a improper or very ancient neurons. They are called unpolar neurons. One student here gather the difference between unpolar and unipolar. Otherwise, you will easily misunderstand the question and go for the wrong options. Whether the question is demanding answer regarding for unipolar or unpolar is the question. I is the alphabet is ready to confuse you in the questions, right? Now, so this is the fourth type, and if we observe the fifth and the last type of neuron, that is called pseudo unipolar neuron. What is the meaning of pseudo? Pseudo means false. Unipolar neuron means what? Single. But let us see its execution. It is look like this. How many projections are there generally? If you guess, this is one projection, this is two projection, wrong. Number of projections is only one. Then that has branches, right? So in the microscopic vision, it look like two projections, but generally in its structure, only one projection has come, later branches. Correct? That is why its execution is false, but structurally it is unipolar. Then it is named as pseudo-unipolar neuron. These pseudo-unipolar neurons are present in spinal cord, dorsal trunk. Dorsal trunk means in spinal cord, upper and lower parts or trunks or roots will be present. On the dorsal root means above root, not the below root. These are existing, and they helps in the reflex actions. Reflex actions are quick and involuntary actions without any kind of a brain response, central nervous system brain part response. The spinal cord itself decide such reactions or responses are called reflex actions. The root is also called reflex arc. In that root, these pseudo-unipolar neurons are existing. These are several types of neurons are existing in animals. Let me recap it. First one is multipolar neuron. It has many processes in which only one axon is proceeding. Such multipolar neurons are present in central nervous systems of vertebrates. Just like brain and spinal cord, the parts of central nervous system. Second one is a unipolar neuron, in which only one process is there. That one process is equal to axon. These type of neurons are present in embryonic stages of not all animals, embryonic stages of vertebrates only, from fishes to mammals, not in invertebrates. Clear? Next, bipolar neurons, number of processes are 2, but number of axons are 1. 2 minus 1 process is equal to axon. N number of process minus 1 is equal to dendrites. Okay, in multipolar neuron, how many dendrites are there means total number of processes minus 1. 1 is equal to axon, that is equal to result number of dendrites. The fourth one is unpolar neuron. Here un is representing absent of processes. So such processes are absent here, no axon, no dendrites. Example, in hydra or coelenterate, unpolar neurons are present. Now last one is pseudo-unipolar neuron. It look like bipolar, but once we see that is one process is coming, later the dendritic branches are coming. These type of neurons are present in dorsal trunk of the spinal cord. Dorsal trunk of the spinal cord is a very important. They helps in reflex actions. These are the different types of neurons. But nervous tissue is composed of neurons and also with glial cells. Let us see how many types of glial cells and their roles. Neuroglial cells are also called helper cells. They occupy equal proportion of nervous tissue just like neurons. There are several types. The first one is astrocytes. Astrocytes. Astro means star, astrology. Okay, like that. Astro means what? Stars. So these shells are look like stars. That's why they are called astrocytes. What is the role of astrocytes? Astrocytes are acting as blood-brain barriers. Just before I told you, neurons function is excitement, conduction as well as transmission. Other than these three, neurons cannot do anything. But to do all the three, neuron need energy, right? That energy is coming from food. Who is supplying the food? Blood. In the bloodstream, suppose when a neuron is present here, it's a blood vessel. It is a blood vessel. Inside the blood vessel, blood is flowing in a direction. In that blood, essential materials are also there. They are also required for neuron for its growth and function. But astrocytes are required to grab every material required by the neuron from the blood, and astrocytes are act as barrier to carry or pick up important materials from the blood and to give supply to the brain, nothing but neuron. That is the reason it is called blood-brain barriers. Now let us see second type. Second type are called oligodendrocytes. Oligodendrocytes. These cells are helping in the formation of myelin sheath. Do you have an idea about myelin sheath, right? Around the axon, myelin sheath will be there. This is a fatty layer. This myelin sheath is formed by the help of oligodendrocytes. So already told you, neuroglial cells or helper cells helps the neurons in several ways. Example here, astrocytes helps in nourishment, whereas oligodendrocytes are helping in formation of myelin sheath, nothing but structural maturation. And third one is microglial cells. Microglial cells are specialized cells, we can call up phagocytous cells, phagocytic cells. In brain, if any bacteria or germ particles has come, then neurons cannot act on them to avoid the damaging of neurons by the actions of germs and microbes. These phagocytic cells act as a defense cells. They eat the bacteria and all and avoid the infections and diseases. So these are derived from monocytes. These are derived from monocytes. What are monocytes, guys? Monocytes are white blood cells. From the white blood cells, every part, at the bone or liver or brain, lungs, everywhere, some cells are deriving on a particular part, they are providing function. So microglial cells are derived from monocytes. Here, one twist is there. If we see the epithelial tissue is derived from all the three: ectoderm in some places, endoderm in some places, mesoderm in some places. So epithelial tissue is derived from all types of germinal layers, whereas connective tissue is derived from mesoderm. Muscular tissue is derived from mesoderm. If we talk about nervous tissue is derived from ectoderm. Inside the nervous tissue, neurons are there. Inside the nervous tissue, 50% of glial cells are there. So all types of neurons and all types of glial cells are derived from ectoderm of the germinal layer, except microglial cells. Why? Microglial cells are derived from monocytes. Monocytes are white blood cells. White blood cells are blood cells. Blood cells means blood. Blood means connective tissue. Connective tissue is derived from mesoderm. So, microglial cells are indirectly derived from mesoderm. All the nervous tissue components are derived from ectoderm except microglial cells is the answer. Clear? And the final cells that are belongs to neuroglial cells are called ependymal cells. Ependymal cells. These ependymal cells are lining in the brain cavities. Inside the brain, some cavities are present. Those cavities are named as ventricles. Ventricles means what? Cavities are empty spaces in the brain. So these empty spaces are lined by ependymal cells. These cells helps to secrete some fluid is called cerebrospinal fluid. That fluid is flowing around the brain in the layers of the brain, so that brain is protecting from shocks and injuries. Clear? So ependymal cells are protecting, microglial cells are protecting from germs infections, and oligodendrocytes function is helps in the formation of myelin sheath around the neuron, and astrocytes are act as feeding cells or nurse cells or act as a blood brain barriers. So this is how 4 different types of helper cells are there called neuroglial cells. Other than that, all are different types of neurons are present. In case of higher vertebrates, multipolar neurons percent is maximum. Now let us discuss the structure of multipolar neuron. We discuss the multipolar neuron structure. It has many projections. They are also called processes, and this circular part is called cyton. This is also called perikaryon. Or soma. All three together has same meaning. And the next cylindrical portion, which is one of the process of axon, which is one of the process of cyton, continued as a cylindrical structure called axon. Later this axon ends as axon terminals. They are called terminals. This is how these are the portions of multipolar neuron. Let us details of each and every one. Firstly, cyton. Cyton is spherical, and cyton has nucleus at center. Number of nucleus is single, so that it is uninucleated. Cyton doesn't have nucleolus. This is a very important thing. Nucleolus present inside the nucleus actually, but in every cell nucleus is present at the center. Inside the nucleus, nucleolus is present, but in case of neuron, that nucleolus was absent. So we can call nucleus without nucleolus is important characterization. And generally in animal cells, centrioles will be present, but in case of neuron, such centrioles were absent. What is the role of centrioles? Centrioles helps in cell division. When one cell divides into two, these centrioles helps to hold the spindle fibers during the anaphase, so that one cell equally cut and divided into two cells. But such centrioles were absent here. I can write centrioles are absent. So centrioles are absent, then it cannot divide. Who? Neuron. Neurons cannot divide, so no regeneration power. In the neurons, regeneration power is least or zero. In our body, any cell can divide and replace its damageable part. But once neurons are damaged, then it cannot be replaced. That's why if a person becomes mad, it is difficult to recover. If we lose some connective part, or bone break, or muscle tear, or anything damage happened, our hair also if we cut, and they will grow. Why? Because they have a regeneration power due to the cell division capacity. But due to the absence of centrioles, neurons cannot regenerate themselves. This is also another important point. Inside the cyton, some protein granules are present. They are called ribonucleoproteins. Ribonucleoproteins. These are named as Nissl granules. These are named as Nissl granules. What are their role? Let us see. Inside the neuron, ribosomes are also absent. Instead of the ribosomes, these ribonucleoproteins are playing the role. Why ribosomes are absent is your question. then I can say ribosomes has to be produced in nucleolus. Means nucleolus is the site of ribosomal production. Nucleus is present but nucleolus was absent. As the production site of ribosomes is absent, ribosomes also cannot be appear in the neuron. But ribosomal functions can be done by the Nistal granules. They are chemically ribonucleoproteins. That is the reason. And inside the cytoplasm is distributed. Then this is called neuroplasm. Cytoplasm of the neuron is called neuroplasm, and cell membrane of the neuron is called neurolemma. And these are called cytoplasmic processes. Cytoplasmic processes. In case of this neuron, process number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 were there. But unexpectedly the 9th process is continued as axon. Clear? Where to be continued as axon, they have a bulge part here in between the cyton and axon. This is called hillock. Axon hillock also can be termed. What is axon hillock? From the cyton, one of the process to be continued as a cylindrical structure called axon with the help of a bulge portion or swelling part of the axon between the axon and cyton, that is called axon hillock. The function of axon hillock is generation of nerve impulse. Before I told you, nerve's main function is exciting, right? So nerves are exciting in this place only. Nerve impulse are started at axon hillock, later to be continued along with the axon. So axon helps in conduction of nerve impulse, and terminals helps in transmission of nerve impulse. Nerve impulses are generated at axon hillock. Such generated nerve impulses are travelled along with the axon. Once axon terminals reach these impulses, axon terminals duty is to be send these impulses its nearest or joined neuron. Then that is the process of nerve transmission. Nerve transmission can be done by nerve or axon terminals. Nerve conduction can be done by axons. Nerve impulse can be generated at axon hillock. These are three important points. And we have discussed about the cyton. Let us see other two parts. They are called axon and dendrites. If we talk about the axon, the layer around the axon is called axolemma. Axolemma and neurolemma both are same. Lemma means membrane. Membrane around the cell is called cytolemma. But this cell is a neuron. That's why this cytolemma is called neurolemma. The neurolemma present at the axon is called axolemma. Means membrane of axon is called axolemma. Generally this axolemma have myelin sheath, maybe continuously or discontinuously. Who helps in the formation of myelin sheath? Before in the part of neuroglial cells I discussed oligodendrocytes. By the help of oligodendrocytes, myelin sheath is formed around the axon. Beside the axon, some Schwann particles are also present. They are called Schwann particles. They are protein particles. Around the Schwann particles, myelin sheath is covering. Then this layer around the axon is called myelin sheath. Myelin sheath is lipidous in nature, means fat. Myelin sheath is made up of lipid, formed by the help of oligodendrocytes. But between the myelin sheath and axon, some protein particle is there, that is called Schwann particle. Schwann particle is protein in nature, but myelin sheath is lipid in nature. If you find some intervals between the myelin sheaths, then they are called nodes of Ranvier, nodes of Ranvier or Ranvier nodes. Sometimes during the development, these nodes will be disappear by the complete sheet formation. This kind of situation you can find in only adults. In the adults, the neurons all are completely covered by myelin sheath, whereas in the child, myelin sheaths have some breaks. Those breaks are called intervals of nodes. Such intervals of nodes are also called as Ranvier nodes. Ranvier's nodes will be disappeared by the formation of complete covering in the adult time. So adult neurons are completely myelinated neurons, whereas just born child do not have that cover around the neuron. Such neurons are called non-myelinated neurons. I repeat here, during child age, neurons are do not covered by myelin sheath. Axon is present, but around the axon, myelin sheath is absent. Such neurons are called non-myelinated neurons. Whereas during the growth and development of the baby, the fatty layers are formed. If the intervals are formed, they are called semi-myelinated neurons. Intervals are present between the myelin sheath, semi-myelinated neurons. If those intervals are also filled by the lipid depositions, then that is called completely myelinated neurons. Can be found such neurons in adults. So, according to the myelin sheath, neurons are three types: unmyelinated, where axon do not have a myelin sheath; semi-myelinated, where Ranvier's nodes are present. Myelin sheath is present, but some intervals are existing. Thirdly, completely myelinated neuron, in which there is no Ranvier nodes. Neuron is completely, means axon is completely myelinated. In such neurons, nerve impulses are traveling fastest in nature. Whereas in unmyelinated, fast; semi-myelinated, faster; completely myelinated, fastest. About this mechanism, in the nerve impulse, nerve conduction, nerve transmission concepts are there in human nervous system. In first year animal physiology we will discuss, not now. These are the basic data to be understand such concepts in further. So this is how axons can be defined. Axon is cylindrical, and axon is continued from one of the process of cyton. Axon covered by myelin sheath. Sometimes myelin sheath is absent. About that we discussed just before. But end of the neuron, axon divide into branches. They are called axon terminals. Inside the axon terminals, they are called synaptic nodes. Synaptic nodes are present end of the axon terminals. Inside the synaptic nodes, some vesicles are present. Vesicles means bag-like structure. Inside enzymes are existing. These vesicles, these structures are called synaptic vesicles. Inside the synaptic vesicles, the chemical is present, that is called acetylcholine. Acetylcholine helps in the transmission of impulse from one neuron to another neuron. That's why acetylcholine is also called neurotransmitter. Neurotransmitter. Neurotransmitter is a chemical. That's why that synapse is called chemical synapse. Clear? So what is a synapse? Junction or gap between two neurons. How much that gap would be? The gap would be 200 angstrom units distance. Such a distance between two neurons is equal to synapse. That is what? Synapse. At the synapse, nerve transmission takes place. Means impulse passes from one neuron to another neuron. This is how nerve exciting, nerve conducting, nerve transmission is taking place by respect to parts of the neuron. I hope you understand the structure of neuron. Again we recall this structure at the time of human nervous system and its functions. Okay guys, with this explanation, I am going to finish the chapter of structural organization in animals with all the 4 tissues: epithelial, connective, muscular and nervous tissue. Go through the textbook lines and attend future examination for 360 marks with physics and chemistry. Thank you.